Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde, Shooter Hunt, and Steve Nielsen here with State to the Nation for PBR Wisconsin. Steve, we appreciate you joining us today. Let's jump right into things, talking 2021 draft. Top prospect of Wisconsin is Noah Miller, who is just going to keep that train rolling with Wisconsin shortstops.
Yeah, Noah Miller, a younger brother to Owen Miller, who's an up-and-coming prospect in the Padres organization, Alabama commit. He's a super heady, intellectual type guy that you really want to captain the infield at short, which should transition pretty well for him at the next level. Coach Bohannon down there in Alabama has done a good job with the top prospects in Wisconsin lately, grabbing Connor Prelip, the top guy in the 19 class, and now Noah Miller, the top guy in the 21 class. So a guy who undoubtedly looks like he's going to be a good pro one day. You know, he's got that grinder mentality, multi-sport athlete, loves to work hard, and he's kind of got it in his bloodlines there too with his brother. So he kind of knows what to expect going in front of him, and he's a kind of guy that's, he's going to continue to hone his craft.
Yeah, I think that a lot of scouting departments are going to have some of his basketball highlights on their film heading into July when we're talking draft time. But you said it, Coach Bo down at Alabama has Connor Prelip. Rohde, you and I have talked about in the past, Prelip goes from undrafted, kind of a late sign, to a potential number one overall pick. We've talked the same about Miller, where, hey, you can either pay him now coming out of high school, or you're going to pay him later because he's going to be in the SEC. He succeeds as a shortstop there. Well, all of a sudden, he's a top 10 pick. But that athleticism is clearly there. He was a stud all summer into the fall. Rohde, I know you saw him ball out down at Lake Point.
Yeah, I really did, and he's definitely one of the guys that I have a close eye on all these guys, but he's one I'm watching especially close. So sticking with that senior class ball game, let's take a look at an uncommitted guy. You've got Alex Hayes. It says he profiles as an innings eater southpaw at the next level. What else do you see in this guy?
Yeah, he's definitely a pitchable left-handed pitcher. We've seen him up to 86. He was a future gamer a couple years ago in 2019. He's at 6'1", 200, just a durable frame type lefty that, you can see eating up a lot of innings, throwing a lot of strikes, and being a really good starter for somebody at the next level.
Yeah, excellent. And then in 22 class, we got Tyler Delucowitz. We just recently released and updated those 22 rankings, and he was a guy that sounds like he had an arrow up.
Yep, and making his debut on those national ranks as well. I think he cracked the top 300 somewhere in there. So a top 5 guy in the state of Wisconsin. We've seen him a bunch before at showcases over the winter and the year before. Who's a guy who'd work out at multiple positions, and he'd throw the heck out of it from the outfield. But then you get him on the mound, and the levers kind of weren't exactly timed up yet like you'd like it. But then this summer, he really figured it out, really made a big jump at our all-state games where he was up to 90, punched out the side in a dominating inning of work where he just really commanded the zone. And at that point, kind of was a no-brainer for an invite to the future games, and repeated it again there. So, a kid with long levers that, is already at 90, and if he can get this delivery a little bit more efficient, I think sky's the limit for him.
And I think he will. I've talked to some college coaches, recruiters from even further, definitely out of the region, who are, this Wisconsin, this is a hidden gem. People who recruit Wisconsin, it's not a hidden gem. Everybody knows very well what the prospects are like there. And Delucowitz is just one of those. They just keep coming. And multi-sport guy who's going to get more polished on the mound, and I'm sure we're going to see even more velo from him because the Wisconsin guys just keep bringing more velo.
Yep.
Speaking of more velo, in the 23 class, we got Jonah Conrad, who ball game is a quick arm guy, pitching in the low 80s all summer. Then it sounds like at the end of the summer, things started to tick up for him.
Yeah, he made a huge jump. He was one of our guys that we had an eye on all summer and saw a bunch out of him. And I'm sure this is going to be a guy that Shooter likes because he can really spin the baseball. And I know how he likes spin win. So, he's a 6'1", 155-pounder, wiry, quick arm kid. Phil Kerber saw him at the Underclass Fall World Series down at Lake Point in early October. Made a big jump up to 87 with a really good breaking ball. And then a couple weeks after that, we had him at a showcase indoors, got him on the TrackMan, sat 86, 87 again, topping at 88, and was able to spin 2 breaking balls, both over 2,600 RPM. I think the curveball is better right now. It just tunnels a little bit better off the fastball, works out of the similar window from the fastball. But again, ability to spin both of them, and he's only 15, so watch out. Jonah Conrad.
Showing off that pitching pedigree there with that good window talk. But I loved it. Seeing him down at Lake Point, I gave Kerber immediate call. And that's what's great about our network. We got guys kind of everywhere. We can check in. Hey, is this as good in person as it is on video that I'm seeing on Twitter? And he was like, yup, he can really spin the baseball. And spin wins. He's got a chance to continue climbing, which, I mean, this 23 class, just like all the other classes, is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not in our rankings yet. As once we update it, I'm sure. I mean, he's going to probably top 5 guy, but and then again, obviously in the nationals too when we update.
Oh yeah,
nice. And wrapping things up with the 2024 class, we got Brock Lewiewicz. Ball game you and I talk about all the time about the shortstops coming out of Wisconsin. We got a big leaguer in Gavin Lux. You mentioned Owen Miller before, who's in the pro ranks. Noah Miller is right behind. Sounds like Brock is coming down the line as well.
Yeah, and the 24 class, it's going to be pretty deep too, I think. Much like that 2016 class you talked about there with Lux. And he's just one of the first ones that we've seen, a left-handed hitting bat who's shown some good feel for the barrel, lanky kid with some long levers that you can see a lot of projection in. And I know he showed well down at Creekside a couple times and some of the other tournaments that we had at the Rock and stuff like that. But there's a lot of names, too, in that class on top of Lewiewicz.
Yeah, Lewiewicz, the first time ball game, you kind of talked to me about him being the next in line. And you expected out of Wisconsin, the 22s, Gavin Killen, the 23s, GRB, and actually the hitters both have some really good shortstops and talented guys up the middle. And then obviously 24s, you just look for the next ones. And then next summer, the 25s. So Wisconsin really starting to challenge Southern California for the top shortstops.
Wow, big words there. Wisconsin shortstops taking on the SoCal guys. So anyway, well, good stuff, ball game. We appreciate you joining us. But there you have it, a look at some prospects out of Wisconsin. So be sure to take a look for more at prepbaseballreport.com. But as always, for Shooter Hunt and Steve Nielsen, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was State to the Nation. And until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.